Alright, let's go. Where are we going? We're going to the usual place. There's not really much else to do. Well, I mean, consider this is basically my job. This is my job. Why would it be basically my job? Well, I mean, I only have less than a month to get New Jersey the money I need to give them in order to keep my business going. But here's the thing, if it's that important, then the money will come to me. I mean, right now we're doing some fucking crazy shit. I haven't had money in almost 2 months. I haven't paid rent to my mother. I'm just not even, nobody asked. It's just one of those things, just fuck it. She told me this morning they want me to leave. But that's the thing, it's like, I don't have anywhere to go. That's not true. I mean, if I really wanted to like schmooze and weasel my way, I could probably connive my sister into letting me live with her and her husband. You know, they'll probably say no. You go to my mother's sister-in-law's, because my mother's mother-in-law just died, so she's got this big house all to herself. So I could probably pull that one off if I feel like being that conniving again. That's probably not even conniving. It's like, hey, Susan, mind if I live with you? These idiots are kicking me out. It'll be good for you, and it'll be good for us. That's how she put it. I can go to her other sister-in-law. I stay here. But that's the thing, it's like nobody understands. Like it's not that I can't explain that I'm not getting a job because I have one. I don't care about the money. Yeah, but Debbie's buying the food. I don't care. That's not my problem. It's really not. Tell your husband to get a fucking job. That guy works like 2 days a week, if that. I haven't seen that dude work in almost 2 weeks. Ain't nobody getting on his ass. Not that I need to. But, I mean, my suggestion is that guy go get a job. This way, nobody has to worry about money anymore. I have bigger work to do, like I have to finish reading the Torah. I have to finish reading my own books. My shit's more important. I don't give a fuck about money. I have a hole that I can live in. They just want me gone, though. Which is a shame because it's like, I'm looking at it from an outside perspective and I'm like, wow, this is actually kind of fucked up. Because you are the reason that I was a fucked up kid and grew up into a fucked up adult, and now you're just gonna fucking be like, alright, you gotta go. And it wasn't like that. It was more like, basically it was, I don't know, this is how I translated it. It was like, I wish I had the balls to tell you to get out of my fucking house right now. But it is what it is. I hate the woman. I've been wanting her to die since I was a kid. Like, this has been torture for me for the past 5 years. Like, I don't know, she brought up my son. Like, why even bring it up? Stop bringing that up. Like, mind your fucking business. Have you talked to him? How about that? Where the fuck are you in his life? He doesn't talk to me for a reason. He's got a good reason not to talk to me. Like, there's a good reason why me and him don't talk. What about you and him? You're the asshole who didn't pick up the phone every time his other grandmother called. You're the fucking pussy. Don't fucking put that shit on me. My sister tried that shit once too. My relationship with my nephew is fucked up because of you. Excuse me? What? I asked my brother, when was the last time you talked to him? He's not even my brother, he's my half brother. My mother had him with another guy. I know, I'm all bent out of shape because of, not bent out of shape, but I feel like a cork got popped. A cork got popped this morning. Well, because I hate this situation that I'm in. But I have to learn to love it. And they don't understand that. And I don't know how to explain it. Well, I mean, I'm explaining it right now, so. God put me in a position where I have to do some fucked up shit. And fuck it, I'm gonna do it. What, because I gotta worry about people, not being happy about it? And I'm gonna revert my mind back to when I watched Passion of the Christ a couple weeks ago on the Cancer New Moon. It's not about the miracles or any kind of shit. It's about telling people, go fuck yourself. No, you ain't gonna tell me who the fuck to be. Why don't you go check unemployment? Because I'm not doing it. Why don't you go check unemployment for me? You got all these ideas. Why don't you get up off your ass instead of sitting around all day? You're not working today. I'm the one that fucking works every single fucking day. I actually do real work. How dare you? Fuck off. But, I mean, this is kind of the way of things. That's kind of the way of things, though. It's not, I don't know if it's possible to completely escape that mentality of money. Money's been a theme all fucking morning too. But I don't know, I have this philosophy. See, now this is like a monkey wrench being thrown in there because I know it's the time of the month. We're going from a third quarter moon to the new moon. So the next several days at the 11th. So the 15th is the new moon. This is also the Lionsgate portal. So there's a lot of shit going on that is going to try and do its best to fucking pull people back and break them down. But that's actually part of the process. Part of the process is to feel like you have absolutely no spiritual support whatsoever and that God doesn't exist. That everything is going to come crumbling down. And really, this should make me panic. I should be panicking right now. And part of me is. But the part of me that is, he has to, because you only worry about something for so long. You gotta feel it to heal it. So what am I so scared of? Change. Well, what kind of change? I mean, I think the thing I'd be mostly afraid of is being literally homeless. Well, I am homeless. I mean, it's not that I'm homeless. I do have places I can go stay. I have several places I can go stay. I'm comfortable. Fuck. I guess that's the thing, right? Being comfortable. And that's the other thing, is no matter where I go, I'd be around people. I mean, I was thinking about this before, this is basically a free pass. I can go wherever the fuck I want, do whatever the fuck I want. Wherever the fuck I want. But I have to get there first. I don't have a portable shower. I don't know how all that would work. Oh, I hear her in my mind crying, being a victim. Well, she thinks she's a failure of a mother, and in some respect she is. She's never been a mother. I mean, I've told her myself, you're not the mom I wanted. The one I needed, unfortunately. I didn't say unfortunately. It is fortunate. So I could have been coddled. But, being perfectly honest, I've hated my family since I was a kid. I've grown up praying and like fantasizing about the day that I'd find out that my family was never even my family. I mean, I look like them, so it's kind of hard to make that argument, but nah, I don't feel them. I never have. I hate them. Not that I hate them, I hate them. How you doing, my friend?
How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad.
Good. Good to see you.
You too. Oh my god. How could you just told me you're good? You're doing, no, I'm actually doing amazing. This is probably the most exciting thing ever. Because what this tells me is that, like, things are moving. Things are moving behind the scenes. Like, I'm going out with my mom's friend tonight. And her friend. And we're going to, like, this little mini retreat down, like, the next town over. It's a couple hours. But this was something that just kind of really popped up the other day. And what I noticed is, like, when I'm with those people, I say those people, like the woman that gave birth to me, the guy she married, and the other kid that she had, the third kid that she had, with some other guy that wasn't my father. But when I'm around them, like, I don't feel myself. Like, I can't be like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel restricted. I feel confined. I don't feel comfortable being around them. And I can't be myself. And the reason I can't be myself is because they're all fake people. And their lie kind of, like, makes me have to lie, in a sense, if that makes sense. It's like they put on a show for people. That's what I mean. Like, her other son, he works for a clothing company, so he's like a show horse. Like, I'm not saying he makes decent money. He makes money. He makes about as much money as I did at the end of my career in the graphic industry. It isn't bad. But he drives a very loud, I guess what you would call a nice car. Spends money on clothes. Makes you treat himself to food and stuff like that. But you take the money away, and what do you got? You got a 30-year-old child who plays video games in his mom's spare room. Who's never actually lived out on his own before. He watches a bunch of Andrew Tate videos and he thinks he knows things about things, but, like, even when I talk to him, like, I mean, he's a good kid. He has potential, but it's all being wasted. I think. I mean, the whole house, there's potential in the whole house. Everyone there's got potential, but they all waste it. Like, that lady's husband, like, he just sits around all day smoking pot and drinking beer. And I'm looking at it from an observer standpoint, and it's just like, I consider what I do, like, this is work. Like, this isn't easy. This is difficult. I do this, like, how many times a day? I do this about 2-3 times a day, but then also at the same time, I got my social media presence that I'm working with, which is also another outlet and potential stream of income. Like, people look at the whole stream of income shit and everyone tries to do the same thing. Why are you trying to do the same thing as everybody else? It's not like you're doing anything. Everyone wants to make quick, easy money. Why not go for hard money? Like, actually build something. Like, all the people that I've met online, and I don't know millions of people, but I know people from all over the country. I know people from all over the world. People who are actually pretty supportive. I don't ask them for money. Why the fuck would I ask them for money? That's what frauds do. I think. I don't think I have to ask for money. My philosophy is, like, if you're not throwing it at me, then I'm not doing anything to deserve it. This is my thing. I don't have to chase money. And I've learned that over the years is, like, there's no reason to chase money. You can. It's like, it's a fucking game that is played on people. And if you chase it, you're never gonna catch it. You always get just enough to get by. I just watched this kid fucking drop $3,000 on his car. What? Oh my god. He had a dream of doing like a hot sauce business. It's like, oh nigga, do you know how much like the supplies you could have gotten? But you actually put $3,000 into your car. Now your car actually used up more gas than it did before the $3,000. So now it's actually going to cost even more. But people have this thing where like people have to look a certain way to gain respect. Credit cards, nice clothes, well, seemingly nice clothes. I mean, but then when you look at what the work that has to be done to do it, and I'm not trying to beat him down. I'm using him as an example because I've actually been there. I worked with him before for a while, and it's like even the job itself. This is the job. Staying around, looking at TikTok, looking at Twitter, taking pictures of yourself in the mirror, posting on Instagram. Like once in a while, you get some people that come in, tell people how to put a suit on, give them some pointers about the clothes, and then that's it. But okay, a good portion of the time is just kind of standing around doing nothing. That's why I couldn't do it. I can't do a job like that. That's just what? Yeah, but now I'm not doing anything else. Like all the things I could be doing. So, see, because I try to keep myself occupied with my own work, because over the past 5 years, once I left my old career, that's what I've been doing. Is working not just on myself, but on my business as well. But I mean, it's the same thing. My business is my business. My life is my business. So, like, in today's day and age, we've got 1,000,001 coaches. Everyone's a coach on something, right? And people make a lot of money doing it. People make good livings doing coaching. But those coaches, they all go to seminars and training, and everybody's doing the same thing, to one degree or another. But at the same time, those same people, those same coaches, they're just doing it for money. They don't really give a fuck about helping people. Helping people, yeah, it's cool. But it's that dollar sign. It's that dollar sign that makes it really delicious. Ask anyone the question. Would you be doing what you're doing if you weren't being paid to be doing what you're doing? I will say 99.998% of the time. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go like 90% of the time. People will say, no. I don't have a choice. Which is a lie, by the way. There's always a choice. So you don't have to do shit. You think you do. I thought I did. But one day I stopped. I said, fuck it. Not that I said fuck it. You know, I had come to a point, it was something that built up over time, because I was trying to make a change in my life. I really recognized that I needed to make a change in my life because I was incredibly unhappy. My family was incredibly unhappy because I used to be married, and I have a child, a son. Child anymore, he's 16. He's been making his own decisions since he was a fucking kid. So we have a person. But I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't happy. Like I was so beaten down just because of my life. I hated my life. I hated my life from when I was a kid. My biggest ambition by the age of 12 was to kill myself when I was 30. That's why like this lady, and realistically, I don't even look at her as my mom. She's just a woman who gave birth to me. She never, I mean, yeah, she did things. She struggled and she went through the motions to make sure that we always had a place to live and that she always had enough money to buy herself some nice things. Once in a while we'd have food, not always like an overabundance of it. I mean, there was one time she left my sister and I, my actual sister, she left us home for a week with the electricity turned off, and maybe some eggs. I don't know. My sister would remember. My sister would know. But we didn't have shit for a fucking week. Where's your father? We couldn't even call him. Couldn't call him because the fucking electricity was turned off. Some days we'd have to stay over our friends' houses. And if we were home, we had to use candles to fucking get around at night. I remember sitting there one day. I remember sitting in my room. Just had my candle going. I was just pouring hot wax on my arm so I can feel the pain. Suicidal my entire life. Because I just hated how mundane the world was. I hated my family. They were just disgusting. They just grossed me out. Everything was about money and sex, and that was it. Well, my mother and my aunt were strippers until I was 18. And a couple times I would stay up and count her tips with her when she got home. But that had been going on for as long as I can remember. I didn't spend any quality time with my mom. I don't remember I don't remember that stuff. I remember going to Great Adventure a couple times. But I think that was after my brother was born. And even after he was born, I mean, I heard her on the phone one day talking to somebody. Well, I had him so I could make up for what I didn't do with the other ones. What? Wow, I was like 10, 11, maybe 12. And no wonder you wanted to fucking kill yourself. When you realize that you're a fucking burden on the one parent that doesn't really want you, but then will guilt trip you when you try to go stay with your father. That happened once. I remember when I was a kid, my father asked me, he's like, you can stay with me if you want. And I brought it up to her. She started crying. It made me feel bad. She used to do shit like that all the time. You better love me because I'm not going to be here one day. And then when I die, you're going to regret it. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, the only reason I'm here now is one because they were the only ones who'd take me. But I mean, no, that's not true. I just haven't left. I leave, I come back. All my stuff's here. But, I don't know, I wasn't even planning on coming here. I wasn't. Like, that was not part of the intention. The intention is that fucking bitch Kim gave me my fucking book back. How dare you call a woman a bitch? Fuck off. You stole my journal. I thought you gave it to me. No, I didn't give it to you, stupid. I told you, would you mind trying to read it to see if it has any kind of effect? Maybe it might be helpful. There was a point, and we discussed it. But you're a little fucking thief. Another fucking money nigger. Because that's all that matters to people is money. It's fucking disgusting. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. But hey, this is literally what God says to Moses. This is why the Jewish people thrive. Do not make an idol of gold. Do not make an idol of silver. Now, some people could argue that what he meant was don't make an idol made out of silver. I don't see it that way, though. I see it don't worship money. This fucking lady tells me, when you need money, don't fucking say that shit to me because I don't need money. You need money. If I needed money, I would have it. Well, right now I have $20 that she gave me. So I can go to the sink tonight. Which I wasn't planning on going. but it's a plot. It's not a plot. It's like pre-planned. I've been here before. I had a roommate once when I still had a condo. I had a condo once. It was nice. A friend of mine moved in with me. I invited her and her kids to stay there because my son and his mother, they left, and I had space, and they were living in a project. So why don't you fucking move here? Nice place, quiet, it's easy. I think they still live in the area, but even her and I remember, we had a mutual friend. My ex-wife's friend who lives across the street was friends with this lady. I remember we were sitting in the kitchen one day smoking pot. And she said, yeah, you know, the only reason that, you know why I started talking to you, right? Is because Letitia, she wanted me to check on you. Because they were all worried about you. I was only supposed to be doing your reading so I can give you advice. That's what this is. This is that lady. She doesn't know anything about me. Well, maybe she does. I don't know. Maybe she sees these. Sometimes I imagine her watching these. Why don't I talk like this when I'm there? I don't have a need to, because I keep to myself. Because I'm like, I have better things to do. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I have work I gotta do. I have work that needs to be done. I have work that God has presented that I need to get done. And in order to do that, I need to keep my headphones on. I need to block out all the bullshit about drama and all the shit that people bitch and complain about all fucking day. Once in a while, I get a quiet day. But I still keep my headphones on because it's just, music helps. I mean, I've been having to, I knew this day was coming. I've foreseen this day coming for a long time. But there's no music playing. And I have to learn to enjoy the sounds, the sights and sounds around me. So this is weird, talking like this. I'm not used to talking without my headphones on. I'm not used to talking without my headphones on with music playing through them. But it's the little sacrifices. This has become a new spot. Yeah, so the reason the reason I even came here was, one, she invited me. I just never left. And for about a year, I was, I don't want to say bedridden, but for the most part, I just stayed in my room, working online, writing, and just putting all of my time and energy into myself and healing and my spiritual growth. And the spiritual growth, that's a story all on itself. Well, not really. Just said I'm a prophet. I'm an avatar vessel. And for the past 43 years, I've just been being groomed to better serve it. Which doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense from the perspective nah, it's gonna go over a lot of people's heads, but that's okay. I think that's the point, is to be able to express it. Well, Okay, let's use the Old Testament as an example, right? So you read from Genesis up to where Moses comes down from Sinai for the second time. Don't look at it like it's a fairy tale. Try to imagine like this is real. One, there's no way to prove that it's not, and since there's nothing to contradict it, it just by default is reality. So, and as fantastical as it seems, you just got to kind of suspend your disbelief and recognize that, yeah, like we live in a really magical universe where anything is possible. So yeah, it's not impossible for any of that to happen. And it wasn't Moses who made the fucking sea part, it was God. God was the one who was doing all the things. Moses was just the catalyst for what was happening. But the point is like if you read from the beginning at least up until that point, or even if you just read Genesis alone, like once you get to the end of Genesis and look at the butterfly effect that took place, like the sequence of cause and effect, the causality of the entire story itself, of the entire timeline. Because there was a lot of things going on, but the main focus was this one very specific bloodline. And yeah, there was a lot of people having a lot of kids, but for the most part, what you notice is that most of them, 90% of them, are only mentioned once, maybe twice, before they're just kind of, alright, yeah, they went off and did this, they did this, they did this. But our main focus is this guy and his kid and that kid when he's grown up and the kid that he has and the children that he has. But out of all of them, we're going to focus on this one who does this thing, who goes on and on and on until we get to Joseph, who brings the Jews to Egypt. And then once Joseph dies and Pharaoh, the new Pharaoh takes over, who doesn't know Joseph and enslaves the Jews, then even the story of how Moses was put into the little basket and raised by the Pharaoh's daughter, and then eventually he comes in to save everybody. But when you look at the sequence of events and how it all played out and how one thing led to another, led to another, led to another, led to another, but at the same time, it's not that it was just random circumstance going on. It was actually divine happenings that were taking place at the exact same time. Like God set all those things in motion. Even when God is giving Moses the measurements for the tabernacle and the tent of meeting, the gathering tent of gathering, as well as the clothing, the garbs that Aaron and his sons are going to wear as priests, the oils, the sacrifices, as he's giving all of these measurements and all of these specifications of how things have to be done. He says to Moses, he's like, I gave you people who have the gift to do these things. So basically what he was saying was like, you don't have to do shit. Everyone who you need to do the things that you need, they're already there. You just have to give them the specifications of what they have to do, which I'm giving you right now. But that's your job. Easy peasy, living greasy. But what's to learn from that? Like, even what to learn from that is that, like, everything you need is already there. You may not have it right when you want it, but if you need it, it's like I said, if I needed money, I'd have money. I got $20. I got money. I just Made $20 manifest. That's big. That's a good sign. This is a really positive sign. Not to mention the fact that I've been eating every day. So I don't give a fuck. I was told, this is what I was told. You can eat anything that doesn't say meal prep, okay? Nobody tells me when they're eating dinner. Like, sometimes they'll have family dinners and they won't invite me. But that's because I don't have enough money in my bank account. I don't have a family sanctioned job. I don't have a job that is, how do you say it? How do you say it? What's the wording? A family approved job. Business owner. I own my own organization. I own several. I have actually quite a little empire growing, but that's not impressive enough for anybody, because what they need to see is, and my mother showed me, that lady, she said to me once, just show me the money. Just show me the money. That's how these people think. It's just show me the money. They don't give a fuck about anything. I don't give a fuck how smart you are. I don't give a fuck about what connections you're doing. I don't give a shit about anything. Just show me the money. That's it. That's all I give a fuck about. If you're not going to present me with the green, fuck out of my face. So that's why I just keep to myself. That's why I don't bother, because I recognize that. And the same thing with my ex-wife. I was talking to my ex-wife a week or two ago, and one of the concerns that she had said to me about, especially with my son, why he's not interested in having a relationship with me, is the fact that I don't have any money. I don't have my own place. I don't have a job. I don't have a steady stream of income. My sister also. One of my issues with my sister, now she's never said it flat out, which is fine. But, well, no, she kind of has. So she doesn't want me. I just went there for the first time in 5 years to go visit her. But the only reason I was allowed to is because I had a plane ticket back. But one of the concerns up until that point, and one of the reasons, not the entire reason, one of the reasons I was not invited to go there in the past was because they were concerned that I wasn't going to leave. So the invitation wasn't even given in the first place. It's fine. But I don't not approve. I fully approve everything that they're doing. My brother as well. My brother doesn't. I don't hang out with my brother. Or his friends. But I know that's also because I don't have any money. If I had money, and if the things I was doing were bringing me in tons and tons of money, it would be a completely different story. I had a special lady friend for about 2 years, and we're no longer talking or have any kind of relationship whatsoever. And mind you, she didn't say this was the reason. So many words, but I mean, I had been open about my feelings and how I wanted things to evolve for the course of 2 years. And I remember one day she told me, I'm going to start looking for a life partner who can help me with my bills. And that's when I realized, like, Well, I think my immediate response was, okay, I'll do it. The response was lol. So that's kind of when I realized, like, all right, this isn't what I thought it was. Or at least she doesn't see this the way that I see it. But I see that with everybody. I see that with my entire family. So everybody knows what I have to do and what I'm not doing. Everybody has an opinion. And eventually this is going to make its rounds through all of them. And everything that they've done and said behind my back is going to be completely ignored and forgotten, but everything here is going to be cherry-picked and used against me. Because that's what people do. That's how I've been trained to see the world. My sister does it. My brother does it. My mother does it. My ex-wife does it. My son does it, I think. But you blocked him first. Fair. Like, there's a part of me that doesn't want to know what everybody thinks I do all day. But there's a part of me that does want to know. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else in the house or anyone else that I know, but I know I've written like 120 books over the past 5 years. 100, like, at least. Or about. Let's say about. Give or take 3 or 4. I've discovered a hidden system within the lunar cycles that an 11-week cycle that plays into a 19-year cycle that most people, I would bet most people that aren't Jews have no idea even exist. But here, little old me, a master of the fucking universe, I have answers to things that people didn't even know they had questions about. But I also live in a universe where I'm the center. I mean, if you want to say God's the center out there, but the God in me is the center in here, which is the same as the center out there. Because the external universe is just a extension of the inside of me, inside out. If you were to pull me inside out, this is what you'd get. The entire physical universe. The nice thing is not fitting in. The nice thing is knowing that I don't fucking love it. I'm so happy that today has gone the way it did. I have an alarm that goes off every morning. Today's going to be the most magical day ever. Every day does not disappoint. This was the most magical day ever. And mind you, I know that lady said that she wants me to go look into these low-income housing apartments that are being built because it would be good for me to be on my own, plus it'll be good for them to have me out of the house. I'm not denying that. I think it's a little fucked up. I mean, the victim side of me goes, fuck you. You have made my life a living fucking hell. This is your fucking punishment now, jerk off. This is your karma for being a terrible mother. Like, how fucking dare you tell me that your life's gonna be better without me in it? I'm the one who should be saying that. My life is gonna be so much better without you in it. And I can't wait till the day you die. I've been waiting for you to die since I was a little kid. When my father was dying in the hospital, I had one breakdown moment where I lost it. I was home by myself. I was drinking. I hadn't drank in like 2 weeks. It's amazing. But I decided to treat myself to a bottle of rum and a pack of cigarettes. And I had my first breakdown. I never cried like that before. I kept on screaming and like bawling my eyes. I was covered in snot. I wanted it to be her. Why can't it be her? Why can't she die? And I found out why. I mean, it makes sense. If we look at things from a divine cause and effect, divine butterfly effect, circumstance, that God was actually playing a part in all of this. The reason that she didn't have to die, or the reason that he had to die and not her, was so that after he died, that's when everything in my life started to break down, and my eyes started to open up about what was going on around me and what my life had turned into, or what my life was looking like, and I wasn't happy about it. So if she had died and not him, then things wouldn't look exactly the way that they do, but things have to be this way. So it's not that I can be mad at what she said. I mean, I can, and I will be. I am gonna let it burn itself out. But the beauty of all that is that, fuck you, bitch whore. I fucking hate you so much. I wish you would have fucking died during childbirth. Not me. You know what? I wish I died when I was that infant. When you brought me to the hospital and I almost died. I wish I did die. I did die. Whoever you thought I was gonna grow up into, that person died. A fucking devil took over my body. The soul of the little boy died, and then the soul of the devil moved in. She said to me once, not too long ago, you know your father was the devil. No, I mean, like, he was the physical devil. He was the devil in human form. It's funny you say that, because I was literally thinking the exact same thing just a couple days ago. I have it written down in my notebook. It's early 2019. I started seeing visions of him as Mephistopheles. And then she said that. It was just kind of confirmation. But I already knew he was of some kind of divine origin. When I called Jesus Uncle Jesus, the reason I say that is because my father used to say he's Jesus' baby brother. His birthday was on Christmas Eve. That was a funny joke when people would ask him when his birthday was. Everyone loved the fact that his birthday was Christmas Eve. I'm Jesus' baby brother. It's blasphemous, man. Or not. Well, considering the fact that I've managed to at least prove to myself that I am the Moshiach, I don't think he was wrong. in any account. I don't think my mother was wrong either. I don't think that she was wrong about him being the devil. I don't think he was wrong about being baby Jesus' son. I don't think he was wrong about me being the Antichrist. I don't think that she was wrong, or I don't think the psychic was wrong that told my mother that one day one of her children was going to be working with the stars and music. That's literally what I do. And I don't think that the Bible has been leading me astray. I don't think that my higher self, my future self, my God self has been leading me astray. I've been working with my higher self since I was a fucking little kid. Like I can't expect people to understand because you're all different. I'm not the same species as you. I look the same, but I'm not. You're only human because I'm only human because somebody told me I was. Derek, this body is older than Derek. Believe it or not. There's a gap. There's a few day gap. Because they didn't give me a name for a couple days after I was born. So there was a brief period of time where this vessel didn't have a name attached to it. It wasn't until my father was sitting in the hospital lobby, and there was a TV on, and there was a movie called 10 with Dudley Moore, and he loves this story. He loves telling this story. I'm named after a pair of tits, is how he used to put it. Because there's a scene in the movie where this woman named Bo Derek is running down the beach, and she's in a bathing suit, but her breasts, tits, boobs are bouncing. And he said that was the inspiration. We shall name him Derek. I'm not upset by that story. It's a fucking awesome story. And then, I guess within the first year, I almost died. I hear somebody critiquing the fact that I keep on bouncing around from, well, first you're saying it's your mother, then you're saying it's not your mother, then it's this woman. You're saying you're Derek, but you're saying you're not Derek. There's a lot to this. Like, I've only been at this for 5 years. For the previous 38 years, I was living a life as a regular person, or doing my best to pretend to be a regular person. Or doing my best to pretend that this wasn't real, in the sense that what I was talking about, learning that my family isn't really my family, that was a thing. And it wasn't until somewhere in the last 5 years where I started learning about soul families and how your family isn't necessarily blood. Just because you're blood related to people doesn't mean that they're actually your family. There's a thing called soul families. That I very much believe. Like my soul mother, my real mother, was my aunt, Helen, who died. She died on the same day my father did, but the year prior. They both died on May 8th, but she died in 2014 and he died in 2015. She was my mother. She actually cared about me and showed me affection. I'm not saying that this woman didn't care about me. Nobody cares about her, so she doesn't know how to give affection because she never got it. I'm just the product of her shitty programming. But I say shitty programming, but at the same time, I know, divine butterfly effect. There's two halves of my brain, just like with everybody else. There's the logic side, and then there's the abstract side. There's the emotional side, and then there's the reason side. So you have to understand that as we're going back and forth with things, like I can hold two different opinions at the same time. Just because people are stuck in black and white, sometimes I have to use black and white speech to express an abstract idea because you can't express it Or sometimes I just have to hear what I'm saying. Because you got to consider, and this was something I said to a buddy of mine, someone that I worked with for 2 weeks, is that just because I'm speaking to you doesn't mean I'm necessarily talking for you. I'm always talking for me, but sometimes I forget that point. And it's when I'm not talking for me and I'm talking for you is when I lose track of what it is that I'm talking about. But once I can get back into the mind frame, the mindset that, no, I'm not talking for you, I'm talking for me. I'm talking at you, I'm talking to you, and you can probably benefit from what it is that I'm saying in one way, shape, or form. But in reality, the breakthrough that I'm trying to have, that I'm about to have, is based on what I'm saying. Because one, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Although, even though I picked up on that thought, and it did lead me down this little rabbit hole right now, and that's exactly what I needed at the moment. So I guess thank you. I guess I did need you for a little bit, but for the most part, what you got to understand is when I'm speaking, the reason I'm speaking is because I need to hear it, because I am processing that information. Not to mention the fact that I'm not just processing that information, but I'm processing even more information in the background that you can't see that will probably come up in the near future, because I have to get these words out before the next batch of things come out. Because if you notice, I haven't stopped talking for 56 minutes and 33 seconds. So in order for me to keep going, I have to continually let that energy, that information process and input, output. So I'm not only speaking, but I'm also listening. I'm taking in, processing, and then continuing to speak, output. So if things don't make sense to you, that's okay. They don't need to make sense to you. I don't need to convince anybody of anything. One of the I was watching. There's this woman that I started watching on Facebook. I don't know her name. She's this Australian girl. She's got her hair's cut down, probably as long as mine on this side, but then as long as a very beautiful woman. And I just love her voice, and I love to listen to what she says, because she goes fucking hard. She goes deep, and she goes a lot deeper than most people. So when I was listening to her speak last night, she had actually started getting into some real shit, especially in regards to Egypt. And she caught herself because she felt herself losing people, and she did exactly what I would have coached her to do, what I would have told her to do if I was in a position to go, this is what you should have done. And she did it, which was, she called it out. She called out the insecurity that came up. She called out the shadow that came up to her that was saying, don't talk about this, you're going to go over people's heads. And she literally, she broke it down. And she said, I have to catch myself here, because a lot of what I'm getting into isn't necessarily for everyone. And what I mean by that is, there is a big greater truth, but not everyone is ready for it. And so it'll go over people's heads. And basically what she was saying is, like, you go too far with people, they'll lose their interest, because their personal biases, their emotional biases, their mental biases, their physical biases, all that shit will come into play, and they'll start to reject the information, and then they'll turn the channel. So basically and because of that, she was kind of just kind of forewarning them, but at the same time explaining herself. I appreciated it. I didn't think, there was a part of me that was like, yeah, don't even bother. These people don't fucking get it. But then there was another part of me that was like, you know what, good for you for calling it out, because that's actually really uncomfortable to do that. When you have an insecurity that pops up like that, like, fuck, I really don't think that people are going to understand what I'm talking about right now. I don't think that you understand what I'm talking about. And it makes me kind of feel like, fuck. It makes me feel like I sound like an idiot to people. That's a fear that I'm having right now, is like, people are listening to this and they're judging me based on what I'm saying. Because I know there's going to be people that are judging it based on what I'm saying, especially when this gets passed around to my family and they see, oh my God, did you see what he said? That's a thing. And when that happens, there's going to be that focal point. Because it has happened before in the past, where my sister has seen some of my videos and she's cherry-picked very specific things. It's not the whole content that she was looking for, as much as just, what did he say about me? What did he say about me? And then that's where the telephone game comes into play. And I'm not saying that I know for a fact that any of this happened, but I know how people work, and I know that when one thing... Did you hear what he said about me? Then it... Ring, ring, ring. Did you hear what he said about me? Did you hear what he said about you? Oh, you should have... Here, watch this. And it just gets spread around and around and around and around and around and around. And people are only looking for this one thing, and they don't give a fuck about anything else that I'm talking about. But that's just the way of things. So sometimes I will lose my train of thought. Sometimes I will hear that voice in my head that doesn't necessarily belong to me. It's almost like an intrusive voice. And you know, that's what she said. That's what she said last night. The Australian girl. I don't know her fucking name. I have to be careful what I'm saying. And I like to think of it the opposite. I don't like the idea of being careful. I like to just fucking go for it and fuck it, whatever. People aren't gonna like what the fuck I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. I don't like what I'm saying, but it's probably also because if you don't like what I'm saying, I probably don't like what you have to say. So rather than feed into what I don't like, I just feed into what I do like and feed into what it does interest me and feed into what really does turn me on. And what turns me on is talking about myself and how fucking amazing I am and the mystical, magical, impossible things that I've been uncovering with myself and everything around me. So like I was saying, it's like I'm not so concerned about what happened today. I'm glad it acted as a catalyst to get me out of the house and just kind of get me into this mindset, because what's coming to my mind? I'm going back to the story of Genesis, because I was on to something when I was talking about how Genesis plays into Exodus and how Exodus evolves out of Genesis, and how the only reason the divine plan requires that everything plays out exactly the way that it plays out. And unless you're part of the divine plan, unless you know that you're part of the divine plan, then it doesn't really make any sense and you can't see it. That's how I'm perceiving it. Because I think that most people I believe, and this is what's coming to me, is that people who are getting enthralled by the spiritual community and the spiritual awakening community and personal development is that they're looking for something. They don't know what they're looking for, but they're looking for something. Looking for answers. Looking for purpose in their lives. What if I told you your purpose was just to listen to me? Your only purpose in life, your entire life, the only reason you were born and raised and gone through everything you went through was just for this moment. Whether we meet each other again or you see me again, doesn't matter. Or if you just fucking die and just get recycled back into the great wheel. Your purpose was just for this moment. And I believe that. I don't think anybody's real except for me. The only reason that anyone even exists is to serve me. I'm divine royalty. There's divine blood flowing through these veins. I'm not ignorant to that fact. There's a reason why I could read the Word of God and actually understand it. Did you ever play Skyrim? I love Skyrim. The story of Skyrim is that the main character is what's called a Dragonborn. He is a descendant of dragons. Over the course of his generational timeline, if you go back far enough, he's a descendant of a dragon, which should be extinct. Dragons aren't supposed to be real, but one day the dragons return. And they start wreaking havoc. But the point of the Dragonborn is to kind of like be the Dragon King. He has the powers of dragons. He has what's called the voice. And the voice is capable of making things happen, which is something that only dragons can do. I mean, people can be trained to do it. There's a cult of people who have trained themselves how to perceive the voice and how to express the voice, but it's not the same. What would take them a lifetime to achieve would take him a day or two, just out of nowhere. And that's basically what it is. In the spiritual awakening community and process, some people take longer than others. Some of us are accelerating at such a rate that people can't keep up. And especially when it comes to seeing those who are pretending and those people who are genuinely going through it and genuinely at the same place that some of us are at. And you can tell because of people's motivations. Money is a surefire indicator. If you're doing it for money, then you're not doing it for the right reason. I'm not saying that money's not going to come. I'm not saying that. I got $20 found its way to my pocket today. And what was it the other day? I was saying something about how there was somebody who wanted to buy me dinner. And friend Tori, she offered to not take me out because she lives on the other side of the country, but to give me some money so I can go get anything I want to eat for my birthday. And I already know what I want. Oh, it's coming. This is the feeling that I'm getting. This $20, this birthday money from Tori. Like, this is how you say it? This is like the first little drops before the fucking downpour. I have spent the last 5 fucking years perfecting my craft so that I can build the foundation, build a self-sustaining foundation for the future so that I don't ever have to work like a fucking slave again. Because I refuse to be a slave. I've done it. I don't need to do it anymore. That's why I say I refuse. It's not that I'm better than it. It's like, I paid my dues. I've done it. I've worked manual labor. I've worked technical jobs. I worked in communications. I've worked in sales. I've worked in retail. I've done coaching. I'm pretty well-rounded. I'm also gifted in the arts of astrology, rhetoric, to a degree. The force is strong with this one. We'll put it that way. Not to mention that I have a fucking direct connection to the divine. The divine within me is fucking wide awake. And my belief is that my feeling, my senses, the story that's playing in my head right now is... Well, I mean, this isn't just my story. Anyone can tell you this. As you elevate, as you ascend, what happens is you have to release the dead weight that no longer is serving. So right now what's happening, especially that, did you see all the stuff that I got out? I fucking hate you. I hate you, Mom. No, no, no. He's not even my brother, he's my half-brother. That stuff. That was dead weight that just needed to fucking get that the fuck out. Because in the grand scheme of the divine plan, my divine plan, I can't be holding on to all that dense shit. Like, that doesn't even matter. None of those things matter. None of these people really matter. I mean, they matter in the sense that, yeah, they're worth honoring and they're worth remembering and they're worth respecting. But at the same time, they're meat puppets. Every single person. I don't know if you noticed the people that have been walking by, because it's just been me talking, but there's been quite a number of people walking by. All those people, they're just meat puppets. Outside of my perception, like, they don't matter. Like that lady in the sun that just walked by, they can get hit by a car when they leave here. Hey, well, you know what? It might have a butterfly effect, chain of events that come out of it. But I guess everything does. Well, everything does matter. Everything happens for a reason. Then what do you mean that? Well, I mean, that's one way to look at it. Is that everyone's a meat puppet and they don't really have much purpose outside of this. But at the same time, like right now, I'm not home, right? But what's happening is that lady and her husband, I can feel them. I feel, what did he say? Yeah, they're talking about me right now. Because what she said to me, like, you can tell, like, she was having a hard time. I was actually more proud of her that she was able to fucking get those words out of her mouth. But right now, that's what they're discussing. How did it go? He's taking credit for something. The reason that I didn't blow up was because he got there. He got there just in time. And maybe he did, because his timing was perfect. Because the not that what she was saying was wrong, I just didn't want to hear it. Because I've heard it before. And she's right. She's 100% right. But I don't think that those rules apply to me. The rules don't apply to me. Why? Why do you think that? I don't think it. I know it. Well, why do you know it? Because of my experiences. Because of my personal experiences. Like, I don't know. Like, you have to be me. You have to be it's one of those, like, you got to be there to get it. Like, I know the rules don't apply to me because I've experienced and seen, and have witnessed the rules that do apply to me. And what rules are those? Divine rules. I don't know. If you don't believe in God, then it's not even worth explaining. Do you ever read the Bible? There's a really, my favorite line from Uncle Jesus. I don't know the verse number, but it might be familiar. But it goes a little something like this. Hit it. Don't cast your pearls before swine, for they will trample them with their hooves, then turn to rend you. This is New Testament wisdom. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? What I'm sensing is whoever is watching this right now, they're getting annoyed. I can sense, like, what the fuck's it mean? I feel like there's someone who's actually, like, mad because they don't know what that... I'll repeat it. Cast not your pearls before swine. Yeah, I'll even change the word. Don't throw your pearls before pigs. because they're just going to stomp on them and then come after you. And then attack you afterwards. Do you get it? Do you think I'm actually talking about pigs? One time, I did bring that up to somebody, and that's what. Why the fuck would why would you throw pearls at pigs? Exactly. Why would you? Why would you? Wait a second. Oh wait, the light bulb just went off. Wait a second. Is he calling us pigs? No, Uncle Jesus did. And technically, I think you're only a pig if you don't get it. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Exactly. It's supposed to be. Fuck this guy. Go get smarter. But that's part of the reason why I don't really argue. Like when people have something to say, I listen. Like when that woman had said to me, she hates that. I can sense how much she hates it. I wasn't just that fucking woman when I was buying you cereal. Yeah, you were. You've been that woman since I was a kid. You notice I never say mom. Never once said, hey mom. Never went, hey dad. I don't normally call people out by their, I don't say mommy or daddy. I don't say I love you. Well, neither of us say I love you. If we don't mean it. Well, I mean, the only time that we say nice things to each other is we text, but my phone's turned off. I don't know why you don't get your phone. Why the fuck am I going to pay for my phone to go on? Who am I supposed to talk to? Listen, right now, my life is harder than it's ever been in my entire life. It's never been this difficult before. It is such a challenge. I'm doing what nobody else has the balls to do. You know how difficult that is? Like, constantly, there are voices that are tearing me to shreds in my head. That are ripping me apart. Calling me names, making fun of me. Like, it's painful, it's hurtful. There's a lot of hurtful things going on. I can hear it. Like what? Fucking loser! Did you fucking kill yourself already? How the fuck haven't you killed yourself? You bring nothing to the table. What are you actually doing? You sit around your fucking mom's house jerking off all day with your thumb up your ass, writing your little fucking diaries. The fuck is wrong with you? Get a fucking job. Contribute to society. You fucking loser. No wonder your wife left you. No wonder your wife started fucking some other guy. No wonder your kid doesn't talk to you. You're a fucking bum. Father would be rolling over in your grave. His grave. Your grandmother was so disappointed in you. You have no idea how disappointed in you your father was. Thought you were a fucking loser. A Imagine what he thinks now, living at your mom's house. Your sister has $1 million home. What do you got? You got fucking diaries. Fucking diaries like a little fucking girl. Fucking pansy. You take it up the ass too? Is that why your wife left you? Is that why you couldn't get your dick hard for your wife? You gonna fucking cry now? Fucking pussy. Maybe that's what you need, is a good fucking beating. You just need someone to beat you to the brink of death, you fucking faggot. A fucking disgrace. How dare you? How fucking dare you fucking loser? How much money's in your fucking bank account? What kind of car? You don't even have a fucking car? A license? Well, you don't have a fucking girlfriend. Who pays for the clothes? Have you ever had to take care of yourself? Have you ever had to take care of somebody else? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You piece of shit. Fucking loser. Fucking bum. Fucking scumbag. The fuck? Have you not been killed yet? Lucky I haven't got my hands on you. Fucking loser bum. Pay for your fucking kid. Why don't you try supporting your fucking kid sometime? You want respect from people, you gotta pay for it. You think this is a fucking free ride? Somebody needs to teach you a fucking lesson. Teach you a lesson in life. You fucking ingrate motherfucker. Is it good for you? That's training. That's work. I'm wrong. That's the other part of work. All that shit, I'm wrong about. What are you doing? Well, I have two egos. I have a light side ego, and I have a dark side ego. One gets popped by saying all of the things that I feel inside of me that are negative. Never say bad things about yourself. Always say bad things about yourself. Why? Because once you get it all out, there's another part of you that's just waiting on the other side of the fence, going, keep going. Boom, you're wrong. What's the one thing that people can't admit? I'm wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. You're arguing with yourself like a fucking crazy person. Is this how crazy people argue with themselves? Derek, I'm not playing the semantics game with you. No, I'm asking you. You said I am arguing with myself like a crazy person. Is this how crazy people argue with themselves? I'm right. You're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm wrong. You're right. You're wrong. I'm right. Yeah, this is called short-circuiting the system. Every truth is a half lie, and every lie is a half truth. Start believing your own bullshit, and then start calling yourself out on that bullshit at the same time. What you're doing is You're putting yourself through a goddamn roller coaster. A roller coaster of emotions and mental, like, what the fuck? Because a lot of feelings that come through with that. Did you notice that? What? I just walked this way to avoid these people. I'm walking the way that I was going to go. What the fuck, man? Like, I'm trying to avoid people. Why? I don't fucking want to be around people. But, that's me fucking bringing dogs back here. So, yeah, that's called a mental and emotional workout. I couldn't even imagine saying those things to myself. Exactly. That's why I do it. Because now, I mean, hypothetically speaking, what do you think would happen if somebody says that stuff to me? Like if someone like legitimately was trying to get a reaction out of me by saying those things. The reaction probably wouldn't be as extreme as they would want. Some people do that. Some people do kind of like push other people to the edge so that they get a very specific reaction. I've done it. It's called pushing buttons. Pushing buttons, it's... Come on. You gonna fucking step? Come on, I'm stepping at you. Your turn. I'm pushing. Come on, pussy. Your turn. And then you can either walk away or... This fucking guy, dude. Grown quite a bit. But you're fucking all limp. Told you don't know where the fuck you're going. Interested to see where it goes. Unless you're trying to get over there. Unless he's trying to get over there. Forest canopy. Mental conditioning, emotional conditioning, but at the same time that's spiritual conditioning as well, because those are called demons coming up to the surface. Demons are sparring partners. Internal demons, they ain't there to hurt you. They're there to rough you up. Get you tough. Do you think it's easy to... I don't think it's easy to say stuff like that. Well, and I don't think it's easy to say those things but then pull yourself out of it. And honestly, I don't know if it's actually me pulling myself out of it or God pulling me out of it. Combination. And when I say God, I'm talking about God and Goddess. Just so they know. I'm not just singling one out and not counting the other, but I'm just categorizing them both in the same. Lumping them. Kind of like toxic. Well, I mean, when I say God, I'm talking about toxic. My future higher God self. The part of me that transcends physical space because it exists in reality. You don't even know what's going to come. You don't know what's coming. No, you don't. Because like Yoda said to Luke, the future is always in motion. So there's an infinite amount, there's an infinite potential of what the future has to hold. Yeah, I can drop dead any second, but there's also the possibility, the potential that I'm not. And even if there's equal potential for me to die, drop dead, as there is for me not, there's still all of that potential of, okay, well, I'm not going to die. I'm going to go left, we're going to go right, we're going to go forward, we're going to go backwards, we're going to go diagonal, we're going to go up, we're going to go down. There's not one set course at this point. So we can actually ignore all the death ones because, okay, that's just, what do we need to worry about that for? I haven't dropped dead yet. I'm going to walk down this path. But I could go that way, 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 blah, blah, blah. What the fuck are these assholes doing, man? Having people around me. Dog, I'm no fucking. This is like my worst fucking nightmare right now. Walking near people with a fucking dog. Alright, fuck it. Play cool. So, I mean, where was I going? Because now I got this shit energy in me. Bear with me for a second, let me collect myself. I don't. Where we go from here? Right. All that potential, but that potential still exists. But at the same time, I have to recognize that the sequence of events that led up to this moment, just like those moments led to right now, no matter what, I tried avoiding walking by those people. But for one reason or another, I had to walk by them. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. Because originally, I don't know if you can tell, there was a point where we were walking down the path and I saw those people coming in my direction. So I just happened to be going down. I just happened to be passing another entrance, a side path, that I knew would lead me further down than I wanted to go. But it would aid in avoiding having to walk by those two people. Why did you want to avoid walking by them? I don't know. Just something about their energy. Just something told me to not go by them. So then I cut down that one path. I came back around. And then that's when I was like, oh, fuck, these motherfuckers. Because I saw them. Because as soon as I went up the path to come take the long route, apparently they walked to about where I turned off and then turned back around to come back the way they came, just in time for me to see them coming towards me. But then they walked down the exit path, which we were just on. And they were a little bit ahead of me. And then, for fucking one reason or another, they get to the end of the path and they turn around and come back towards me. And the reason I don't like that, one, I don't have my headphones on, so I'm getting distracted. I'm thinking about, oh man, how am I gonna fucking talk about this in front of people? What if I say something crazy in front of them? Now, what if anybody's watching this and they see me pussy out on talking because there's people walking by me? You talk a good game when there's nobody around, but then as soon as people are there, you fucking clam up like a pussy. And then, as soon as we walked by, it was a black dude. It was an older black gentleman. a not unattractive white woman. And the only reason I knew he was older is because he had white hair. But he had the dog on a leash. And as soon as he passed me, he had like jogging pants on. And she had like, she had the yoga pants. She had like the lady jogger pants, the tights. And then like the sports bra. But it just seemed like a little bit of a mismatch. So when I started singing, I don't know if you heard it, but as soon as they walked by, I got that one, I got this lyric from a Dr. Dre song that popped in my head. From Snoop. Pimps up, hoes down. That bitch can't swim, she's bound to drizzle. Because I thought he was her pimp. That's the immediate thought. You see a fucking black man with a white woman, and immediately I go, oh, that's her pimp. Why can't they just be friends? I don't know, because that's the first thing that popped in my head. Pimps up, hoes down. That bitch can't swim, she's bound to drizzle. It's true. Sometimes. At least in fucking Compton in the 90s, that was true. Otherwise, Snoop wouldn't have said it. I'm not saying it's a universal truth. Because it was true for him doesn't mean it was true for anybody else. But if it was true for him, then that makes it true. Every truth's a half lie, every lie's a half truth. It's because it was true for him doesn't mean it has to be true for us. Right? Back to my point about why my mother said the things. No, she's right. You need money. I do. But you just gave it to me. So now I don't need it anymore. I need food, but you keep on buying it for me. I don't need to. There's food. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna eat. I'm a little upset that you got the wrong jelly, but I don't know who the fuck eats grape jelly. Nobody eats grape jelly. Everybody knows I love raspberry jelly because I say it. I love raspberry jelly. It's my favorite jelly. And if you don't know raspberry jelly is my favorite jelly, then nigga, you ain't paying attention. If you ain't paying attention, then what the fuck is you doing? Too busy being a victim. Oh, I gotta do this for him. Oh, I gotta do that for him. No, what you're doing, you're just doing. You're just doing. Because that's what you are supposed to do. Just because... Oh, ho, 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 ho. I hear the ladies in the background getting all pissed off. You're a grown-ass man. Nigga, let's talk about gender roles and societal roles. I wasn't brought up properly. I wasn't brought up knowing the truth about human existence. I had to figure it out on my own over the course of 43 years. This little fucking world that you people have created for yourself, that's the lie. That's the illusion. You people fucked up. Not me. I have to make up for it, though. How do I do that? By doing the hard shit that nobody else has the fucking balls to do. Which is what? Exactly what I'm doing. You can't see it. It's not my job to put the glasses on your fucking head. Sticking feathers up your butt does not make you a chicken. Just because you want to pretend to be something that you're not does not make you that thing. Especially when you don't even believe it yourself. If you're gonna do the fake it till you make it thing, it helps if it's coming from a genuine place. Because if it's coming from a genuine place, then you don't even have to fake it. It's not easy to maintain all the time. Like, that's why I have to come out. That's why I gotta do this. The more that you do it, the more that you embody it, the more that you live it, the more that you make it your reality, the more real it becomes. Until it's just fucking real. What did I say the other night? I'm just staying at my mother's house until my new place is ready for me. This woman... This woman, her family, they've been doing their best to bring me down since I was a kid. My uncle may have molested me with his friends. I can see it in my head. It comes to mind once in a while. Kind of going, hey, I'm here. I confronted him. I told him about it. I was home one night smoking pot with my dead father's ashes in my kitchen once, and I felt a presence in the room that normally I would associate with gray aliens. But this time, after the fear faded, I felt my father's presence. And I realized he had a message for me. So I said, you can come into me and give me the message. And so, got to the center place, and I started seeing all of these images, and those images were attached to fears, to feelings, and what I started to see was me getting raped by 3 men. Like, viciously raped by 3 men. I was at a birthday party. I think it was my birthday party. I don't know. But I don't know if it happened. I have no actual proof other than that. But one day I was with my uncle, and I did tell him that I called it a false memory. I was calling it a false memory, but what happened was I told my mother about it. And then she told her mother about it. Then her mother told me about it. And I realized, if I don't act soon, this is going to get back to my uncle. So I decided to take one for the team and just tell him about it. He said he seemed a little shocked, taken aback by it, but he did use it against me twice. About a week later, he was on the phone with his friend. They were both sitting on the couch. I heard him. He goes, oh, by the way, did Derek tell you I molested him too? He has a reputation. Never been caught or anything like that, but he just happens to have a reputation. I can't help that. That's not my business. Then a couple weeks later, a couple weeks later, we're helping a cousin of mine, his ex-stepdaughter, an ex-girlfriend. We're helping her move. She's a victim of, she was molested when she was younger. But me, her, him, and her mother went out to dinner that night. And I said something that upset him. And he looked at his ex-wife and he goes, oh, did Derek tell you I molested him too? Everything got really quiet, really uncomfortable. I felt so stupid. I felt so embarrassed. I felt so ashamed. But at the same time, I heard in my head, hey, there's all the proof you need. He said you didn't have proof. Now you just got victim blamed twice in a month. Victim shamed. I guess so. Hey, but I look at it like this. I'm the chosen one. I was talking to a friend about it. She's like, you know what happened, right? It happened. Just admit to yourself that it happened. It happened. They did it. They won't admit it, but it happened. And I'm okay with that. But I told myself this too. If it did happen, then in the future, after they die, I'll be presented with an opportunity to have sex with their corpses. So, I'm okay with that. Totally fine with that. But, talking about spiritual growth. Yeah, I'm gonna go home. I have a couple ideas. It's gonna go with the flow. Go on Facebook first. Maybe go on fucking YouTube first. Maybe write a little bit. Maybe watch another episode of Star Wars Rebels. Get some more of my Force training in. Maybe read some more Exodus. Maybe put out a job application. Yes. Lots of things to do. A lot of potential. Stalk some people online. Kill myself. Sneak into my brother's room, find his gun, blow my brains out. I've already tried that. Not here, at his father's house. I've already done that. Trust me, the gun doesn't go off. It was worth it though. I held it to my head. I held it to my head for a couple minutes when him and his father were out for Father's Day at the gun range. His father showed us where he kept the guns. So, I did. I took the one. I knew.